I'm on the Gold Coast and this is where I grew up. So I thought today I'd take you with me as we go and try and find the best meat pie here. We're going to start up in the north and then we're going to try pies as we move on down towards the south. So jump in the car with me and let's go try some amazing pies on the Gold Coast. This one has been on the list from you guys, suggested by you, since the very first pie video that I ever did. Now, I'm down in Nerang, which is up on the north side of the Gold Coast, and there is a lot of contention as to who has the best pies, Australia or New Zealand. Well, this place is in Australia, and it's run by a Kiwi bunch, and it is the little Kiwi Bakehouse right here in Nerang. So let's head on in and give it a red hot crack. Alrighty, team, I've got my pie, but before I jump in and give this one a review, let me tell you how I review my pies. So I break it down into 5 categories. So the sturdiness, how well the pie holds together, the flakiness, how much of that delicious flaky top breaks on off, the flavor, how delicious the pie is, and now that's my personal opinion, but that's all I can go off, the consistency and amount of chunky steak pieces. My favorite pie is a chunky steak, and I will always try and get a chunky steak when I'm doing these reviews. And finally, number 5 is the price. Now, I rated all of these out of 5 and then do an average of them to give you the best pie rating that I possibly can. So, without further ado, let's crack on open the little Kiwi Bakehouse chunky steak pie. Oh, I'm looking forward to this one. All right, team, let's check this bad boy out. Here she is, the little Kiwi Bakehouse chunky steak. Let's get her out of her covers and give her a try. Pretty sturdy, a little bit soft, but nothing super bad. She feels a little bit flaky, not super flaky, but as I always say, you never know until you take your first bite. So let's jump in and give her a big one. Ooh. That is an absolutely bloody delicious pie. Flavor is delicious. The pastry, pretty sturdy, it's a little bit soft, but nothing's coming out. The top, a little bit flaky, but not getting everywhere. I'm gonna take another bite. Amazing flavor, team. Yeah. Let me enjoy this bad boy, and then I'll come back, I'll give you the review. All right, little Kiwi Bakehouse chunky steak. How am I gonna rate it? So using that 5-point system, we're starting with our sturdiness. Pretty sturdy, didn't fall apart at all. Pretty darn good. So I'm gonna give that one a 4.5. Flakiness, she was pretty flaky, but not super flaky. So I'm gonna go with a 4. Now, next one is our flavor. That was a bloody good pie. It had a very mellow flavor. Sometimes pies can be a bit too peppery, a bit too wine tasting, but that one was kind of in the middle, was just right. It was pretty darn good. So that one's gonna score a 5 on flavor for me. The consistency and chunky steak pieces. Consistency, absolutely amazing. Chunky steak, chock full of it. It was full of meat. Let me throw some up for you on the screen here. It was really, really good. So consistency in chunky steak pieces is going to get a 5 from me as well. The final one is the price. She was a little bit on the more expensive side. So that pie was $8 plus a little bit of surcharge at the till. So for the price, I think in 2025, a pie should be maybe around $6. So for that one, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5. So the overall rating for the Little Kiwi Bakehouse Chunky Steak is going to be 4.4. Now, that's a pretty darn good pie. And if you're feeling like some Kiwi flavors, if that's your thing, then this is definitely a place to check out. Down here in Nerang, in the north side of the Gold Coast. I've finished it now, so let's head on to the next location. Let's just pause the video here for a sec. If you're enjoying it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment telling me what you love about these meat pies. All right, back to the eating. Alrighty team, our next location is towards what I would consider the middle of the Gold Coast. So I'm down in, technically it's Mermaid, but I'd be calling it Nobby's Beach. And today we're going to head on in and try out a Foster's Bakery pie. So let's jump out of the car and grab one. Alrighty team, so I found myself a nice little spot down here overlooking the beach. Let me throw up some pictures of that because it is a stunning day here on the Gold Coast. And I've got my Foster's Bakery Chunky Steak. So without any more waiting, let's jump in and give her a go. Ooh. So she's a flaky pie. The flakes are flying off, bit of a soft bottom here, but that's all right. Let's give her a try out. Got some chunky steak in there already. Flavor, pretty good. Not too bad, a bit peppery, but that's all right. Hasn't leaked anyway, consistency looks pretty good. So, team, let me munch into this bad boy and then we'll give you the review. Foster's Bakery in what I would call Nobby's Chunky Steak Pie. Let's go through the 5-point rating system and give you a score. So starting with the sturdiness, she was sturdy, but she was soft. The bottom was pretty soft. No separation, no leakage, but she was a soft bottom. So I'm gonna give that one a 4. The flakiness, she was a pretty darn flaky pie. I'll throw up the flakes down there for you. But for that one, I'm going to go with a 4.5. The flavor, it was a little bit too peppery for me. Yeah, it had a bit of an aggressive pepper bite to it, which some people might like. For me, not my favorite. So I'm going to go with a 4 for the flavor. The consistency and chunky steak pieces was actually really, really good. So it was full of meat. The consistency was great. It wasn't dripping anywhere, it wasn't running, it wasn't too thick. So for the consistency, I'm actually going to give that one a 5. And the price for that one, that was $7 for that chunky steak, which I think in 2025, a little bit expensive, but here we are. So I'm going to give that one a 4, which gives us an overall rating for the Foster's Bakery Chunky Steak of 4.3. Definitely worth checking out. It's a pretty darn nice pie. And you guys should definitely give it a go if you're in around the middle of the Gold Coast. All right, Tim, see you at the next location. Good morning, team. It's a wet and rainy one here today on the Gold Coast, so I thought for our third pie, I would take you down to a family favorite of mine. Now, this place, doesn't just make fantastic pies, they do fantastic bread, fantastic pastries, really good coffee as well. So I'm in Currumbin, in the little industrial area back here, and you know things are pretty good when you head into an industrial area. So let's jump out and try out a pie from Bread Social. Let's go. Well, Tim, I'm down now at Currumbin Alley, another favourite of my family down the Gold Coast, and I thought the rain was letting up a little bit, but she's starting to come back. So I think today I'm going to have this pie in the car. The view out there isn't too great. I thought I'd be able to have this snack, have my breakfast overlooking some beach, have some sunshine, but it's not to be. So I've got my coffee, got my pie. Let's jump on in and let's try it out. Pie that I have, she was their braised beef. She's a pretty hefty pie, a little bit soft on the bottom. Seems like the top might be a bit flaky. All right, gonna jump on in, have a good old bite. I'm gonna use my tray to drop any crumbs and we'll show you how it is at the end. All right, bon appetit, team. That is an exceptionally flavorful pie. I'm gonna go in for a second bite. Really nice. Hot damn, that is a bloody good pie. Hey, check out that cross section. She's absolutely full up with meat. Yeah, it is a little bit soft. I'm having to hold the bottom up here a bit. And I don't have too many flakes, but the flavor on this one is really fantastic. Thoroughly enjoying this, team. So I'm gonna finish up my pie. We're gonna finish up my coffee and I'll come back and give you the review. As I sip on my coffee and enjoy that, let's break down how I'm gonna rate the Bread Social braised beef pie. So starting with our sturdiness. Now, she was pretty soft, but I didn't have any real breakage or spillage or anything like that. So I'm gonna go with a 4 for the sturdiness of this pie. The flakiness as well, it was a little bit flaky. Let me show you the damage. But she wasn't super flaky, but there were still definitely some flakes and I had to do a bit of cleanup after I finished it to make sure the car's not too dirty. So I'm gonna give that a 4 as well. The flavor of this pie, absolutely delicious. This was obviously, oh, not obviously, this was one of the best pies I think I've ever had in terms of flavor. It was absolutely delicious and on point. It was meaty. It was exactly what I think a pie should taste. Absolutely delicious. In terms of consistency and chunky steak pieces, it was more meat than anything else. It was braised beef. It was chunks and strips of beef in there. It was not a lot of gravy, if I'm being honest, but not in a bad way. It was just entirely meat. So that's getting a 5 from me as well. And the price, now this is kind of higher end. It was on the more expensive side. You get what you pay for, all right? So this bad boy was 11 bucks, which is pretty darn expensive for a pie, but it was not a small pie and it was bloody delicious. So I think 11 bucks is all right. So I'm going to give that a 3, which when we break it down, divide it out, gives us an overall rating of 4.2 for the Bread Social braised beef pie. I think if you're on the Gold Coast, definitely at the south end of the Gold Coast, you should go to Bread Social, check out their pies, check out their bread, check out some of their other pastries as well. It's all absolutely delicious. As I said, it's family favorite, and have a bloody good meal there. All right, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below telling me what you think about all these pies. Okay, team, I'll see you in the next one.